Life Conversations Radio. Be the change you want to see.
I want to tie what you just shared in with the feel, deal, and heal. Okay. And hopefully we'll have time to talk about personal truth and spiritual truth, because you kind of spoken to it, and because I know that was a major shift when I read that. Let's talk about feel, deal, and heal. What does that mean? Can you unpack it for us?
Yeah. And I'm going to take it to the Trayvon Martin case.
Thank you. That was my next question.
As in the inner, so in the outer, the macro and the micro are the same. That what happens on a collective consciousness level is the exact same thing that happens on the individual level. It's just multiplied. In fact, it cannot be happening on the collective unless it's happening on the individual. You can't put 10 people in a room and have a room full of rocket scientists unless they walked in the room rocket scientists. You can't have a warring nation unless the people in it are warring. You can't take peaceful people and come out with a warring nation. That if it's a warring nation, it's because the people are warring. And it's so important that we understand that, because we're so busy sometimes trying to change things at the collective level without becoming the change on the individual level. And it just doesn't work that way. So what happens with that notion of feel, deal, and heal is that you cannot heal what you do not feel. You cannot heal what you do not feel. And since the feelings are uncomfortable, so many times we try to do interventions. We try to manipulate the circumstances, the conditions, and whatnot, so we won't feel certain things, not understanding that in the prohibiting ourselves from feeling it, then we're not dealing with it. And if we're not dealing with it, then we can't heal it. It is true on the individual level, and it is true on the collective level. So if you take the Trayvon Martin case, for example, people don't understand the nature, one, of healing, and they truly don't understand politics and the court systems. That in order to have the big win that you want, you have to have some losses in the front, because it's the losses that make you feel. See, the nation's in an uproar now. If Zimmerman had been convicted, it would have been over. Folks would have been like dancing in the streets, and it would have been over. It's like that one man, so to speak, would have been brought to justice. But because he was let off, the injustice of it all is being unveiled. It's making us feel, and it's making us deal as a nation as we grapple with, well, how can this be? And it sparks the conversation, and it keeps it going. Now, I have little doubt in my mind that justice will, in fact, be served. And I was telling people about this and explaining to them that this is no different than the Prop 8 case. We in California, everybody was all upset when Prop 8 won. And I said, just have a little patience. It's going to go down. It's just so grossly illegal. It's going, but you have to have the patience for the social justice work. And so you don't get to the Supreme Court where the big rulings come that impact not only your case but the rest of the nation. You don't get the big rulings unless you lose. You don't get to the Supreme Court winning. Winners don't take their cases to the Supreme Court.
I know that's right.
You get to the Supreme Court from losing. Will everybody really catch that? It's from the losing that you're able to then take it to broader and broader realms. If you win in the beginning, then it's a small win, just for you. And you have to ask yourself, why are you in the fight? Are you in it just for you and to get resolved whatever it was that was the catalyst for the larger issue? Or are you in the battle for the long haul? So whatever is the big systemic issue can be addressed so that your win can be a victory for the beloved community, period. So we're having, as a nation, to feel so we can deal and we can heal. What people don't understand about the court system is that there's two different courts. There's the criminal court, and then there's the civil court. And exactly what I said was going to, telling people was going to happen, it happened like the next day. It's very similar to what happened in Los Angeles with the LAPD Rodney King case. I'm from L.A. I've watched that city go up in flames more than any other city in the United States. We talk about the South, but it's L.A. that goes up in flames over racial stuff. And it was the exact same thing. Rodney King was beaten up, and the police were completely exonerated. And it blew. It blew. Where the first thing broke out, my mama was getting her hair done around the corner at the place where I grew up getting my hair done. And it wasn't just a neighborhood thing like Watts Riot. That thing was 900 square miles. Los Angeles rioted 30 miles east, west, north, south, each way. That thing went up. And what I know is that after the criminal court and after the LAPD got, let off, then the civil charges came in and saying his civil rights were violated. And that's where we're going to win, and that's where we're going to win big. Because the civil rights is protection from profiling, not being discriminated against for being black, not being, it's like all of that stuff is what's going to come up in the civil court. In the criminal court, it was just a simple kind of, self-defense. Did the guy think he was in danger, blah, 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 period. But now we get a chance to get with the substantive issues and the U.S. Justice Department. The U.S. Justice Department is calling for it. Now, when I was on the airplane, I was in the airport, and I saw Obama speaking out. I could only read the caption, talking about the history, the nation's history of prejudice and profiling and whatnot, and say, "Oh, see, baby, it's on now. We need to thank that. We need to thank that court for letting Zimmerman off, because it is on now. It's on now." And I told everybody, I said, when Obama, with tears in his eyes, said, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon. And it was true. Trayvon looked just like Obama Jr. I said, this, you can please believe, this one ain't resting. So we need to chill out. We need to calm down as a nation, take a deep breath, and be very grateful that these discussions are happening. Now we have a chance to heal. Now we're going to have a chance to heal on some stuff because we're feeling the pain, which is making us deal with it.
Life Conversations Radio. Be the change you want to see.